When? At what moment does good in a person transform into evil? And does the reverse transformation exist? The accent on German pedantry is announced from the first scene at Krakow station, where the registration of Jewish families is taking place before settling them in the ghetto. The meticulous preparation of businessman Oskar Schindler for a well-thought-out spectacle in the restaurant, where German leadership gathers every evening.
Who is that man?
That's Oskar Schindler.
By the end of the evening, he had everyone united at his table, never forgetting to capture himself in photos with the high-ranking officials. Dialogues among the officers reveal the acceptance of the law of yellow stars in Germany. Oskar finds it's Oxstern, who had previously worked as an accountant in a company producing enamelware. Oskar Schindler's idea was to change the equipment at the factory and start production for military orders. He needed a professional manager who could develop new production and bring in more profit. Additionally, Oskar needed substantial funding to reorganize production. So he approached its Oxstern with this request. Since Jews were forbidden to register companies, Oskar Schindler proposed himself, a German businessman, as the owner of the future factory. Oskar already had the necessary connections to secure contracts due to his acquaintances with senior officers in restaurants. An humiliating scene of repression of Jewish families occurs. They are evicted from their apartments for subsequent settlement in the ghetto. Itzhak brought to wealthy Jews to meet Schindler. Oskar's confident statement that in the ghetto, goods would now be the only valuable currency shook the consciousness of Polish wealthy individuals. They were forced to rely on Oskar Schindler's verbal guarantees.
An enamelware factory over at the Polish Street.
Thanks to his connections, Oskar Schindler obtained permission to hire physically fit Jews from the ghetto to work in production. Itzhak Stern explained to the workers that they would have the opportunity to leave the ghetto and exchange the goods produced for food among Krakow residents. Among the vast number of Jewish families, Itzhak Stern sought out the most talented Jews writers, musicians, teachers, artists, to give them a chance to survive in these harsh conditions.
I play the flute. But Moses is a skilled metal worker.
Oskar Schindler was doing vital work. He announced the opening of a factory producing enameled pots for the German army. He was the owner and representative of the factory. His task was to establish friendly relationships with senior German officers and their wives. He personally distributed scarce drinks, cigars, and goods to each officer he deemed necessary. He arranged parties for them with pleasant ladies.
Attached list and available colors. Anticipating the enclosed.
In life, a person needs three things: a good doctor, a compassionate priest, and a smart accountant. Oskar quoted this saying of his father and sincerely thanked Itzhak Stern, stating that without Itzhak, he would have achieved nothing.
Very useful. Success.
Things at the factory were going well. Itzhak managed the production professionally. According to the chief officer, the ritualistic meaning for Germans was to make Jews do the dirty work for Aryans. To achieve this, they halted the workers at Oskar Schindler's factory to clear snow from the city streets, shooting an old, one-armed man in the process. Unexpectedly, Oskar Schindler discovers that Itzhak is not at work. Intuition directed him to the station where another transport of Jews was being sent.
Sir, the list is correct.
I didn't ask you about the list. I asked you your name.
Well, the list is correct, sir.
I think I can guarantee you'll both be in southern Russia before the end of the month. Good day.
Stop the train!
Oskar finds Itzhak Stern on the list of this large group already allocated to the wagons, threatening junior officers with frontline deployment. He locates Itzhak in one of the wagons and rescues him. The subsequent scene shocks with its cruelty and indifference. A special group of Jews frees the suitcases of the departing Jews and redistributes their belongings accordingly.
This street divides the ghetto just about in half. Right?
A new commander for the ghetto arrives in Krakow. The new commandant, Amon Goth, tours the camp.
One of you is a very lucky girl. Has domestic experience.
A woman approached him, requesting to halt barracks construction due to an improperly prepared foundation. The commandant ordered her immediate execution right there, and it was promptly carried out.
Shooter, here, on my authority.
Afterward, he ordered everything to be redone as the executed woman had
Rebuild
said.
it like she said. Today is history, and you are part of it.
In the morning, Amon Goth announces to the garrison that today they are creating a new history. 600 years ago, Jews came to Krakow and prospered in trade, art, culture, and science. But tonight, these 600 years will sink into oblivion. Total raids commenced in Krakow. All Jews are driven out of their homes onto the streets. Their suitcases and belongings taken and thrown away. Those who fail to comply are shot. Women, children, and men are forcibly separated.
That line. Women to the left. Women to the left, men to the right.
After all Jews were transported out of Krakow on trucks, separate units in the ensuing darkness went around the houses again and shot anyone hiding. Oskar Schindler's factory ceased production. All arrested Jews were gathered in the constructed camp. A morning roll call was held for everyone, after which they were assigned to their workplaces. Commandant Amon Goth, from the balcony of his mansion on the hill, separate enterprises were planned within Plaszow by the SS Schutzstaffel. These included a metal goods factory, a brush production line. Private German firms were to benefit from the move across the barbed wire to Plaszow, under the commandant of the ghetto.
Is your own sub-camp.
Oskar Schindler was officially introduced to Amon Goth. All of Schindler's workers were taken to Goth's camp, now belonging to the new commandant. Amon dictated these terms to its Oxstern for the operation of Schindler's factory, which was the most profitable enterprise. Now its Oxstern works for Amon Goth. During a secret meeting, Itzhak recounts to Oskar about unofficial payments made to officials in the Ministry of Economics, the Interior Ministry, the Governor General, police chiefs, and senior SS officers. Oskar meticulously records this information in his notebook. Amon Goth arrives for an inspection in one of the workshops. Dissatisfied with the productivity of one of the prisoners, Amon took him out into the yard for execution. After firing at the kneeling man nearly 10 times, both pistols misfired. Enraged, Amon struck the man on the head with the pistol, leaving him alive. After divine intervention, Schindler took him to work at his factory. Oskar Schindler tried to rescue talented prisoners from the camp and bring them under his protection, as he did with the boy who saved his fellow inmates from the commandant's wrath. He also transferred an intellectual elderly couple to his factory. For each request, he paid in various valuable items: gold watches, cigarette cases, lighters. Helen Hirsch, Amon Goth's housemaid, told Oskar Schindler about the madness of the commandant. He kills every day. He kills just for the sake of it.
He won't shoot you because he enjoys you too much.
A brief scene of a marriage ceremony among the prisoners in a barrack shows their strength of life and hope for a better future. A touching scene occurs when a woman and a girl bring a cake with birthday wishes from all of Oskar Schindler's prisoners. A horrifying scene of medical inspections of the prisoners, related to the arrival of new transports, unfolds. They are divided into two groups, those who can continue working and those who will be sent to the gas chambers. Then, the children were taken out and seated in trucks. A heart-wrenching scene shows cheerful children in vehicles and weeping mothers. Those not left in the camp were herded into wagons and locked for transport.
This is really cruel, Oskar. You're giving them hope. You shouldn't do that.
Oskar Schindler was arrested for what he defined as violating the law of racial incompatibility. Although no such statute existed, he publicly kissed a Jewish inmate on the lips.
I kissed a Jewish girl.
Amongoth mentioned that Oskar Schindler loves beautiful women very much, and they all reciprocate. He also spoke of the peculiarities of Jewish women.
Sit down.
You should kiss us, not them. God forbid you ever get a real taste for Jewish skirt.
In the morning, Oskar steps out of his house and sees ashes flying everywhere in the air. A terrible scene of burning killed prisoners is shown. Amon informs Oskar that all prisoners are being sent to Auschwitz. The only question left is when Amongoth will provide the wagons for transportation. An intense dialogue between Oskar and Itzhak, summarizing their relationship, takes place.
You ran my business.
For the first time, Itzhak takes the initiative and suggests they have a drink together.
You want these people?
These people. My people. I want my people.
Who are you, Moses?
Oskar Schindler persuades Amongoth to sell him his factory workers to save them from
If I'm making 100,
Auschwitz.
you've got to be making 3. And if Admit's making 3, then it's 4.
Itzhak prints lists of names dictated by Schindler from memory. Schindler's List.
I want all of them. Yes, sir. Fisher. Ishmael Fisher. More.
We are Rosners, Henry, Mansi, and Leo, and our son,
Oldek and Mila Pfefferberg.
All of the men from Schindler's factory were transported to another concentration camp, in Poland, AMBLIN.
The train with the women has already left Płaszów and will be arriving here very shortly.
Due to a bureaucratic error, a train with women was directed to Auschwitz. We witness an ominous scene of Auschwitz's ovens working at full capacity. Women are quickly shaved and herded into the showers. Fear and anticipation of death fill the women's eyes, as they await whether what will come from above, water or gas. Moments of joy arise when water starts to flow. Oskar Schindler conducted private negotiations with the commandant of Auschwitz and managed to persuade him that he specifically needed these women and children according to his list. For this, he paid him with diamonds, convincingly stating that portable wealth is now more valuable than ever.
That's right.
In Brünlitz, Oskar Schindler reunited the families of the workers and began a new production. He articulated new rules for the camp's security. Anyone who killed a prisoner would send any guard to prison, receiving compensation for the deceased worker. Oskar reunited with his spouse, Emily Schindler.
How you doing, Rabbi?
Schindler permitted the Jews to rest on Shabbat and agitated its rushes into Oskar's office. Germany's unconditional surrender has been officially declared. Oskar Schindler gathers the workers and guards together. He informs the prisoners. Freedom awaits them.
Thank your fearless stern. I'm a member of the Nazi Party.
But he will be pursued as a member of the Nazi Party. To the guards, Oskar Schindler says that they have the chance to leave and return home as people, not executioners as they were ordered to shoot all the prisoners.
Thank you, Mr. Yere.
A poignant scene follows of Schindler bidding farewell to the factory workers. In case of Oskar's arrest, they handed him a letter signed by all the inmates, explaining all of Oskar Schindler's actions.
It says whoever saves one life saves the world entire.
Its Oxstern gifted Oskar a golden ring from everyone, inscribed with a quote from the Talmud in Hebrew, "Whoever saves one life saves the world entire."
You have been liberated by the Soviet army.
The film is staggering in how authentically Steven Spielberg managed to convey a documentary history of the World War II period through artistic imagery.